Yo, welcome back. I'm Clay, and today we've got the mighty Mahiroo, which is easily the best team fighter on any game that I've ever seen. He honestly reminds me of Junkrat on Overwatch, but with permanent wall hacks. And the reason I decided to do this is because I've seen a ton of people talking about how garbage he is on Reddit and Twitter, and people have barely even scratched the surface with him. So before we get started, though, I do have to thank you guys again for all the love and the recent subs. And in the next few days, I have a couple Wallstark videos coming up because they finally released content for that game for the first time in 3 months. So I'm going to enjoy it a little bit. And hopefully you enjoy it too. But I'll be back on Gundam after that. And most important of all, we have to announce the giveaway winner today. So we're going to spin the wheel live. Well, kind of live. And I tried to fit my camera on here, but it just kind of looked weird. So we're just not going to bother with that. And we're going to let the wheel have its moment in the spotlight. And I picked each one of these guys with a bot that basically just picked up hashtag ZERKERGANG in the comments of the last 6 videos. And as you can see, everybody's equal 16.7 on all 6 of the on all 6 of these guys. So congratulations for making the top 6, and let's see who wins the grand prize. Oh, Matt Atbo! Congratulations, brother. You are the winner. And I will go ahead and reply to your comment with a W that actually won it. So congratulations, bro. I do see you comment on a lot of videos, so you definitely deserve it. So get with me on Discord or Twitter or Instagram, whatever you use, just let me know, King. And just so no scams ever arise, there's only one official me in the Discord, and I'll at you in an open channel if I need to get a hold of you privately beforehand. So don't fall for anybody pretending to be me. And the next giveaway I do is going to be announced at the podcast on Sunday. But now it's time to light this off with the mighty Mahiroo. And by no means is this character a slouch at all. He might be one of the best to have on your team in a competitive game just because of everything he brings to the table. He's one of the most insane choke holders that you could possibly ask to have on any hero shooter, and just by bouncing grenades around corners, you can really start pressuring an entire enemy team. And when you ult, the amount of grenades that fly out of you is just absolutely insane. You basically become Gandalf. And eventually, a true god at this game is going to come along and be the ultimate geometrist and know the most insane bounces off every corner, and we're all going to absolutely hate it. And by no means am I a rank 1 player, but I know what to look for in potential in a character, and honestly, I think Mahiroo has it all. But you really do have to think in terms of comp versus casual. All the casuals think Barbatos is the most broken thing to ever hit any game, and they think Zaku 2 melee is bad. But all comp players think the opposite, and that's a good reason for that. Spin to win is ridiculous, and Barbatos is actually pretty easy to deal with if your teammates are remotely awake at all. So with that being said, I think Mahiroo is bad on a casual team that can't use the information that the wall hacks provide. So they can't capitalize on his pressure. But when you're in a competitive game, giving your team constant knowledge of almost the entire enemy team and that like radius around you, and the ability to punish any kind of choke push while being able to break enemies camped out from around a corner while having total vision of them is insanely valuable. So you have to start thinking about Mahiroo like this: constant pressure, infinite wall hacks, and crazy movement. Even the worst players can pop off when the sniper's ult is up, because life gets really easy when you don't have to question where anyone is. So Mahiroo can keep that up for almost half of the match. And when you start preventing the flanks that come with that, you really start helping your team succeed in every way possible. You really have to remember that knowledge is power. And in any game, having vision like that is the most valuable information, and it's so hard to trade that for anything else. With that being said, I think Mahiroo is pretty dependent on your team's picks. Like if they just pick like full random stuff they just feel like playing, then you're never going to be able to use him to his full potential. And if you're playing with people that are asleep, then well, what's the point of having wall hacks if your teammates aren't going to use them? And on top of that, you don't really handle all-ins very well, and most of the time you get popped if you aren't being super careful. And a good Barbatos or Exia will pretty much dust you every time in a 1v1 if they catch you by yourself, unless you go god mode with the dash kick. So the only way you're getting away from anyone really is to dash at them to interrupt whatever they're doing with your E, and then drop your F on them. Now, this forces them to dash to try and stop destroying you, but a lot of people panic and just try to finish you off. So they end up getting stunned by the volcano cannon because a lot of people don't even really know that it stuns yet or really what it even does because nobody plays Mahiroo. And at the same time, you're hovering in the sky, raining grenades down on them for free. And it's super free when they can't even move. Now, the other way to do this is you can cast your volcano cannon if you predict where they're coming from, which is pretty easy with your wall hacks. You can see somebody come around the corner. You shoot the volcano cannon, you dash in to stun them, you end up in the air, and then they just get stunned, and then you just spam grenades on them. The only thing, if you do it that way, you have to be careful that you don't stun yourself, which I've done quite a few times, so I felt like the better way to do it was to E, F, drop some grenades while you're hovering. It seemed to work the best, so if you guys also have a combo with Mahiroo that I'm missing, let me know. But you can really make some crazy plays with the amount of hovering that you can do. And it's something that I'm still going to be practicing myself pretty much every game that I play him. And honestly, I ran this down in even the most cursed lobbies instead of choosing a carry because I really wanted to learn the hard way for some reason. So I got to experience true agony. But my favorite part of the whole experience was getting called a whale for buying the character pack in game. That shit made my day. And on Twitter, I've been seeing so many people complain about how pay to win Gundam Evo is, and the tears just sustain me. But I do actually think they need to up the generation of the blue dust so that people can get characters faster, because right now it's 100% way too slow in its current state. So that is something I actually agree with right now, because it honestly just takes too long for like a new player to unlock a character. So hopefully they start giving like new players like a discount, like maybe 50% on their first character if they're gonna keep it the way it is, but who knows? But they definitely have to do something because enough people are complaining that if they don't do anything, it's just going to make them quit. So why make them quit when you can just do something simple about it? But just to get back to Mahiroo, I think I finally got his combos down pretty well, and now I just need to learn the best map bounce spots, and I'll start being an absolute menace. So if you guys know any like secret techniques, let me know about them, because I actually want to get really good at Mahiroo because I really enjoy playing him. And you know exactly what I'm talking about when you're on Overwatch or something and Junkrat dumpsters your whole team from around a corner. That's what I want to get doing with this man's. And honestly, I thought things were going like really good. And then I had a game where I ran into a solid Ashimar and a Methus. And I'm going to be honest with you, if there's any flyers on the map, they're going to absolutely trash you. And you need to rely on your team to get rid of them for you, or it's just over. Because Asmar is probably your hardest counter. He can drop you insanely fast, and you can't really return fire on him at all, because shooting up as Mahiroo is like trying to not take a dump after eating McDonald's. That's just not going to happen. So if you do see a flyboy, do your best to try and stay in a confined space, or try and put some distance or a teammate between you two so they can't pick you off as easily. And as for Methus, I wasn't expecting the burst combo, but it's like insanely good at popping 800 HP targets. The first time it happened to me, I was actually kind of shook, because the only other 800 HP thing I play is Zachary Range, and he's so mobile that it's hard to actually get hit by setups. But honestly, you should be able to see the majority of surprises coming with your constant wall hacks. And that is the main reason I think Mahiroo's so broken, is you can literally just keep the radial sniper all up with a 50% uptime. And that's ridiculous to say the least. The level of information that it feeds your team can basically just force all the fights exactly where you want them to happen and stop any kind of shenanigans from happening. And as we all know, shenanigans are the fastest way to win games. And if I had to like throw a team comp together, I would say Mahiroo is definitely best paired with like beefier teammates with sustained pressure, because if you don't have people frontlining for you or putting out constant damage, it's going to be a rough game no matter which way you look at it. But even when I started solo queuing into those cursed lobbies where literally everybody refused to join team chat, which just sucks, I really managed to hold chokes and put a lot of pressure on the map just by myself, and force people to come deal with me and save abilities to try and prevent me from just being the most annoying. So anytime a team is forced to send 2+ people at you, you've basically already started carrying, especially if you can get away and just keep them busy. And because of the insane movement you have, you can really get them around the map pretty quick and outrun the majority of people. So I really do think if you get caught, it's because you weren't paying attention or somebody flanked you like really, really hard. And I really do think you have all the tools to succeed with this character. So I honestly think he's easily one of the best in the game. And I know that's controversial because most people say he's the worst Gundam in the game. But how could something with constant wall hacks and actually a ton of damage be bad? Right? It's just that nobody's really good at him yet. So I think that's all it is. And people aren't used to playing him or even playing against him. So practicing it early might give you the hard chance to carry your team, because if people keep complaining, he's going to get buffed. And he's already good. So if he gets buffed while he's already good, then he becomes God tier. But for me, I usually use the characters with the biggest W key in any game I play. Like on Lost Ark, I play Berserker and Destroyer. On New World, I played like Great Axe Hammer. On WoW, I play Death Knight, and on here, I play Barbatos and Zaku Melee. But I really think I found a special spot on my roster for Mahiroo, especially on some of those really tight maps, just because of how hard he can actually carry in those situations. So hopefully somebody who's good at geometry can show us the true potential of their grenades one day, because I can't even do math.